You are Robert Robertson, a man that is a third generation deep in trauma and tradition because your grandfather made the suit. Your dad took over, got killed, and then you more recently took it over in what seems like the last 5 years. You unfortunately end up breaking the most recent version of the suit, and were almost immediately recruited to be a superhero dispatcher for a company. Sounds good, right? The only immediate drawback is that the heroes that you were assigned are the worst of the batch, as they're a bunch of reformed villains. Sadly, still, they also have a few of their bad habits that are persisting. It really depends on their day and what happens in their life. Sometimes you have a bad day and go drinking a beer truck. Some days you go light a workshop on fire and are in total denial about it, in spite of being surveyed. Yeah, that's probably an issue. Let's not talk about that to HR, okay? This game follows the interactive show-like formula, which, much like older Telltale games that we fell in love with, such as... This game follows the interactive show-like formula, much like how other older Telltale games have, whether it was Tales of the Borderlands, Walking Dead, where it was episodic in nature, where it had natural cutoff points, and maybe previously on X episode. And let's face it, us millennials more or less fell in love with the format when it was initially coming out. Your choices will matter whether it is a little bit delayed or it's immediate gratification. For example, after your unfortunate encounter that strips you of your powers, you find yourself in a bar drinking away the pain with the super that saved you from a beating. Your first choice in this one doesn't really matter that much, aside from a little bit funny. However, the second one is far more satisfying and serves an immediate humble pie to someone that will eventually be down either a tooth or down their eyebrows for the near future and for pretty much the entire series. It's a simple but effective way of highlighting the impact that you can immediately have, but of course there are choices that won't always have that immediate impact, and honestly that should be that way. I won't go into more because that's just going to spoil you, but they are there. Overall, there are 8 episodes of Dispatch to play through, which will take about an hour on average to complete, with the exception of the final episode, which can take up to 2 hours depending on how you play through it. Each one of these will consist of story, where you and your team are sorting through things in your typical office corporate drama. Definitely some comedies involved too, which, I mean, it is part of the genre, so I would certainly hope so. There can also be impactful choices, whether it's from setup and eventually payoff. The dispatching game itself, as well as a sort of minigame that can happen while in dispatching to make sure that it's not just your drag and drop scenarios. And finally, there is the team building chances where story beats can happen, and you can either get your team to trust you or maybe to eventually build that layer of trust that we all experience in our jobs, or at least I would certainly hope so. I won't lie, some of these choices are painful and do make me wish that the timer wasn't there so I could go do a full cost-benefit analysis or maybe at least make a sandwich. But hey, that is the magic of the game, right? That is what lets you make sure that you have stakes in all your decisions, because much in like life, you don't have all the time in the world to make the choices. Whether it's a choice that is very simple, like how you want to handle a bully, or is this a secret that you want to divulge to your entire team that might have ramifications, but build a large amount of trust, or keep that close to the chest and never really trust those people. Well, I don't know too much regarding the development cycle for this game, aside from the big things that was effectively this game being stuck in almost not ever being made, and eventually being picked up by the Critical Role team because of some voice work that was found out and then talked about. I just want to say thanks. This game was enjoyable. I was on the edge of my seat, at least in those later episodes where obviously it demanded to, and I had a blast suffering through my choices, whether I had done it in the name of the company or hoping that I just made the right choice at the time. I certainly hope in the future, whether it's a game in Exandria or maybe in a more better repaired state of Los Angeles than I left it. I'll save that story for another time, but I certainly hope we do get another random dispatch or whatever the future game is in the near future. So thanks for that. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna let it digest. I'm probably gonna be playing it again. Thanks all for making it to the end. If you want to help out with these efforts here, let me know what I should play next. Of course, liking and subscribing will always help out to make sure that, we can encourage this bad idea of a YouTube channel. For those that want my thoughts on DMC, you can check the video... Oh shit, nope, that's the wrong shoulder, over here. Or whatever the video that YouTube does want next. That think that might be a good idea. I'll see you later on either thing, but in the meantime, bye for now.